So, I guess the first place I want to start, because I know some people don't know this, the origin of the name System76. Because I know where the 76 came from, but I know a lot of people don't, and it's always amusing when they find out.
Right, right. So the 76 is a reference to the American Revolution. So the intent and our purpose and what we've been working on for 18 years is independence from proprietary software. So
hmm
that's where the 76 comes from.
How long's the company been around for at this point?
Just over 18 years.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. By tech terms, we're ancients.
Mhm. Well, especially for what would you describe the company as, like a system integrator? Sort like what term would you use for it? I know there's a bunch of different terms people use for PC companies.
Yeah, that's kind of a good question because we and the traditional term is OEM,
Sure.
original equipment manufacturer. So we design these days we do a lot that's unique amongst our industry.
Mhm.
Like we design a lot of hardware in house. We built a factory in Denver. We do a lot of manufacturing. We've been bringing more and more of the things that instead of like a lot of companies where design and manufacturing is outsourced, we've been bringing more and more of that in house.
Mhm.
Um, but we also develop an operating system,
Mhm.
and so
And you also
so
have like
that's
keyboard as well that you sell.
right. Yeah, we design and manufacture the launch keyboard. Uh, Interesting story with that. So with the factory, what we want to do is open source. I mean, our ultimate goal is to open source the computer
Mhm.
entirely, and it's just takes a massive amount of endurance, a lot of time, and it involves a lot of things, and we have to like knock off pieces over time. But so that means, whether it's the hardware design, PCB design, eventually RISC-V is really exciting to us because it's at some point I would love to be building RISC-V computers
Mhm.
that can compete with the latest Intel and ARM stuff coming out. So so we've been chopping all of slowly chopping those pieces off year after year.
Mhm.
The launch keyboards was the next step before getting into laptops.
Mhm.
And the reason that we did launch was because we wanted to learn precision engine milling in our factory.
Right.
And actually, the form factor is actually pretty similar to a lot of things that you see in a laptop. We also wanted to learn and get more experience with electrical design for high-speed traces. So it's one of the reasons it has a high-speed USB hub
Mhm.
built into it. So and of course, the PCB for launch is all open source, and so we wanted to learn and experience, get some experience doing those things before we move over to laptop design, which is
Mhm.
another project that's kind of humming in the background.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I did see the picture. I think you posted it of the milled out case from a couple of months ago. I guess it's like half a year ago now of the
Yeah,
Virgo case or the
right.
panel, whatever it was. I am really interested to see what ends up happening with that because I did see I did see when I think Jeremy posted about the the design specs for it being open under what license was it?
I think we're going to use probably this Open CERN license,
Mhm.
the reciprocal version.
Okay. And we saw what Framework did a couple of years ago with their with their devices, and we're seeing a couple of fairly small companies moving in that direction. And obviously, there's no we're not seeing like HP or any of these like massive providers yet, but if you create this small groundswell, this creates a market for it. And if there's a market for it, then if users actually really want to support this, then they have a place they can go. They have companies they can support. They you know and if they want to start using these designs themselves, they have the tech know how to do so. They can go and do something really cool with them themselves.
Right. Right. It's the hardware equivalent to open source software.
Mhm,
It's a
mhm.
lot harder
Yes,
in
yes.
many ways because it takes capital or machinery and other things to actually realize these physical products.
Mhm,
But with 3D printing, is becoming much more interesting.
mhm,
And what we want to do is, in the same way we want to do with open source software, we enable people to create things with what we build.
mhm,
We're really interested in what people can make with the stuff we make. Um, we want to do that with a laptop platform
mhm,
in the long term, whereby you would have a board and extra and modules, and you can use these different components to mix and match them and create your own products. Because at the core, a lot of these things are very similar,
mhm.
and the differences come in with how things are laid out, manufacturing quality, the component decisions, a lot of other decisions that every individual person can innovate and work on, create their own customer experience.
Mhm,
But all the guts are really very similar. And
mhm.
we think it's something that can be done. And Intel's been quite interested in doing something similar to this for some time. Um, a lot of companies want to do it. It's done in desktops already. It's just we need to miniaturize all that and
Right.
get down to the point where people can instead of. I mean, I'd like people to be able to take components off the shelf and hack together their own laptop. I think that would be awesome.
Mhm.
So I think it's a very long project. I think it's going to take us a couple of years to really get there and to nail it. But once we do, I hope we've built something that people can use as a platform to, not only be how we make laptops, but how other people can experiment and build and grow and see what they can make of it as well.